I'm Becky.
I'm Sarah. And today we are going to be book reviewing Scarlett Epstein Hates It Here by Anna Breslaw. So this is about Scarlett Epstein, obviously, who likes
She hates it here.
Yeah, and she hates it here. That's really all the book's about.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's actually about a little bit more than that. So she writes fan fiction for a made-up show called Lycanthrope High, which has actually been canceled. So there's crazy drama with that. Sad face for her. And the whole community is just like freaking out. But along with all of that, like Scarlett has some serious issues going on with her. Her best friend, Avery, is a genius, but she's also kind of moving forward in the romance department. Scarlett's other best friend is a 70-year-old woman who likes to smoke weed a lot. Like, there's a lot of toking going on in here. But really just by the 70-year-old woman. So, take that as it is. Scarlett is also absolutely in love with Gideon, this boy she used to know back in the day, and then he was like, I want to be popular, so forget you, Scarlett. She still has a huge crush on him. But as it turns out, he's going out with Avery's older sister, Ashley. And she just can't imagine why he would want to date a cheerleader. My God, it's the worst thing ever. And so she's working out her issues through her fan fiction and all of that. So it's really just kind of coming to terms with all that drama. Plus her dad is kind of a jerk.
Total jerk face.
Total jerk. And I'm going to start off with just saying spoiler alert. That way when spoilers occur, we've covered our bases.
You don't get shocked.
So, spoiler alert. All right. So, how'd you feel?
So, I was neither blown away or disappointed by it. It was just like, to me, it was this basic YA little like realistic fiction. Oh, my life is sad. I did have this really weird experience where I started reading it Tuesday and I was reading it and I'm like, this is funny. I love Scarlett. She's so quirky. Isn't it great? And then I, had to go to sleep. And when I woke up Wednesday, it really bugged me. Everything that was so quirky was super annoying. So I don't know if that was something weird with me or if that was something with the book or...
See, and I mean, yeah, she's quirky. I never really found her all that funny, but I didn't find her, like, hideously annoying. It was just, like, meh. Like, I was okay with reading it. It was just, meh.
I didn't really care about anything. And Gideon was, like, supposed to be this dream boy from her past, and he's not fully developed. And there was, like, everything was, like, on the cusp of being something great, but not quite getting to great.
Well... And I think that so later in the book, her father writes a novel and turns out, it's about her and her mom, which totally sucks. And I'm thinking the book would have been so much more interesting had the focus just been on that and nothing else.
It is one of those they were trying to do way too much because there was the fan fiction. There was the best friend who gets a boyfriend and is moving on. There's the boy that she loves who is involved with someone else. There's her parents' marriage is falling apart. Her mom's dating somebody seriously. Her dad's got this book coming out. She has a stepmom and a half-sister. And so it was like, we're going to take every possible aspect of a teen book and mush them all into one book and put it in a little, like, sassy cover, and isn't it going to be great? And it just didn't all quite meld correctly.
Well, and it's also, like, a book about grief and things. Like, there are so many big things going on, and I don't think that it was terrible. It just really wasn't. It could have been better had one thing been developed more. So it wasn't a train wreck like I've seen before where you're just trying to throw everything against the wall and see what sticks, but it wasn't awesome.
And this is another book that this apparently the catchphrase this time of the year or whatever for publishers is Veronica Mars like. And again, I don't see it other than the fact that Scarlett doesn't like it there and that she's sassy, but it wasn't particularly funny, which it's kind of marketed as funny, but it isn't. And honestly, I would have just liked a book about a girl who wants to write fan fiction because that's so popular now.
Yeah, and the fan fiction is more like Buffy. I mean, not exactly like Buffy, but if you're gonna,
It's kind of actually like it was kind of similar to.
If you're gonna pull from a '90s show, like
Right.
that's where I would go with it, as opposed to Veronica Mars, which is
totally in the 2000s.
I'm serious.
It was when I was in
well,
college.
I just started rewatching it, so
Not that old.
Sorry. But it was more like Buffy.
But yeah, it's like I have a hard time to have anything to say about it because there just wasn't that much to talk about. It's just kind of like, and nothing was fully developed. And I feel like if she just picked one aspect of it, she could have gone on and run with it. But as opposed to a little of this, a little of that, it was like a smorgasbord.
Yeah.
But it wasn't quite fulfilling.
It wasn't quite fulfilling, but it was like, and the thing is, so as I was reading it, I'm like, okay, I can read this. It's not torture, you know, this is but it really kind of set itself up well for a sequel,
right.
Especially because she works out her issues in fan fiction. So, you know, whatever issues she's got easily could be translated to another book.
But I don't care enough to read another book.
Don't make a sequel.
And I'm sorry, but once again, one of the most important aspects of realistic fiction romance books for teens is the boy, and this boy was boring. And he wasn't particularly nice. And he was involved with Avery's older sister Ashley, and they keep implying that they are very physically involved, and then all of a sudden it's like, maybe I want to roll around with Scarlett instead.
He's just really spineless, and she's kind of portrayed as an independent woman, especially because like her best friend is a retired women's studies professor who has a really unique look on life. But here's Scarlett saying it's okay to go with a guy who gave everything up to be popular and is totally just screwing around with everybody.
Well, how women's studies is it that he's cheating on another girl with her? She's so pro-woman and sisterhood, and then,
Yeah, I don't understand why she'd accept that from him. And he's really, honestly, I think she fell in love with her fan fiction version of him.
Well, and like you're supposed to like Gideon, but you only like Gideon because the author keeps telling you to like Gideon. I don't like Gideon because of anything that I'm thinking.
Yeah, no.
I just was like, and to be quite honest, I read this book not that long ago, and I couldn't remember the name of the boy. That's not a good thing.
Yeah, I think the only character that I really liked was the 70-year-old woman because she was quirky, she was funny, but all in a good way, in a solid way, as opposed to all of the other characters, which were just kind of like,
I liked Scarlett. Like, it's not that I didn't like her, though. It's not that I didn't like her. It's that I didn't like her, if that makes sense.
I thought she was annoying. Like, if she was a real person, I would not want to talk to her.
She reminds me of the character Juno, which, in theory, like, when I saw the trailers for Juno, I thought it was hilarious. And then when I sat and watched Juno, I was like, if I had to deal with this girl, I would have wanted to slap her. And that's what it is. It's like, on paper, it's like so quirky and adorable. But when you really think about it, you're like, I would not be able to stand this person. And there's nobody nice in the whole book. There's not like one nice character. Even Avery, who's kind of nice, verges into not niceness.
I don't know. Like, and I'm just thinking, like, if I were on those fan fiction boards and I had to read her stuff, like, I'd have words for her. Like, it's terrible.
Very pop culture. It's like we're live tweeting and we're doing this and we're doing that, and it's.
Which I actually thought was a nice kind of integration of pop culture. It just story-wise didn't work very well for me.
Yeah.
And the other thing I think that we disagreed on was how well the fan fiction integrated into the book. I thought it worked way better than Rainbow Rowell's.
See, and I loved Fangirl. I'm like one of the few people who thought Eleanor and Clark was good, but I thought Fangirl was brilliant. And I loved Carry On. Loved it.
I think, and like with that, I think that in Fangirl, they're two separate books. Like one has nothing to do with the other, whereas here, it flows better because it's working through the issues.
That was kind of the point in Fangirl, but with this also, I mean, yeah,
it was like I don't want to get into Fangirl, but like it was irritating. Like it just like was commercial breaks in the middle of the story. It was kind of
and I was
annoying.
But I was like, look, it's her growth through the. Anyway, we're not talking about Fangirl. Well, but that is true. Like this, she did work really hard on carrying the narrative along with the fan fiction, which is appreciated. I would have probably rather have read the book that was the fan fiction than the actual book.
Yeah, that would have been way
I
better.
would totally have read that book.
That would have been
That
fine.
was like with
Yeah.
the fembots and all of
Yeah,
that.
it was like
It
was
would have
very,
really,
like,
it would have really cute.
Chobits and Buffy.
If it had like a pink cover with like a glittery something on it,
That would be good.
I would have been on the wait list for that 6 months in advance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because then it wouldn't have taken itself too seriously.
Yeah. That's part of it. Like Scarlett everything is so epically horrible. It's like
But seriously though, it's
seriously,
epically
it's like my world is falling apart. People are dying. My parents are betraying me. It's like a Shakespearean tragedy, all bundled up in a cute title with a girl with nice hair on the cover.
but crappy glasses.
Crappy glasses.
No, because I just really wanted to know more about the whole father stepmother book writing, like, because that was a terrible move on his part.
Yeah.
Like writing about her, but writing so negatively about her, and then like blindsiding her with it, like that was terrible.
I can't remember the exact line that he had written in his book, but it was something, the character obviously based on him, talking about the daughter obviously based on her, about how he was quite often disappointed by the daughter that he had gotten. And that right there, that could have been the first line in a book, and the whole book been about a discovery and a reconnection with the parent.
Yeah, it could have been. It actually reminded me a lot of Chasing Life, which was a ABC Family show. It was like basically on point, except there was no cancer involved in this book. Well, wait, there was cancer involved in this book, but just
there's
that was the
always
main character.
cancer involved in a book if you haven't noticed. Somebody somewhere has cancer in a lot of books.
A lot of teen books.
A lot of teen books. That's what that is. I don't have anything else to say. There's not a lot to say because there's not a lot of story or book or point or narrative or character development or plot development.
Yeah.
There's just not a lot.
The most movement was in the fan fiction. So
right.
Okay.
And like I said, fembots.
That was hilarious.
Cool.
Okay, so I guess we're ready to rate.
We're ready to rate.
Do we want to quickly go over the rating scale just real quick?
We haven't for a while, so we could.
So at the bottom, it's trolls, then you've got goblins, then you've got fairies, then you've got unicorns, and then Yeti, which is the best book of the entire.
There's only one Yeti a year.
Also, you can have 2 of each creature except for the Yeti. Okay.
Yes. So I gave Scarlett Epstein, Hates It Here, 1 fairy because it was just like a quick, fun read, even though there's nothing there. But it's like what I call a whipped cream book. Sometimes you need nothing, just fun, fluffy, sugary. Not filling.
2 goblins. So it's almost a fairy, but no. Because I don't know if I'd recommend it to anybody.
I could see if a kid came in and they just wanted something, particularly a kid who you know is into things like fan fiction, wanted something fun and fast. And a lot of kids will say to you, I want a book about real people. This is technically about real people, even though it does feature some fembots. So I would possibly give it to them, particularly somebody who's kind of a reluctant reader who doesn't want to read something long, because it's a quick, easy read.
It's quick, but I think that it's... I don't know if... I wouldn't give it to a reluctant reader because I don't think there's enough to push them forward.
I don't know.
I think they'd get bored with it.
There's a lot of stuff I'd recommend first, but I could see that
Yeah.
if that was the thing on the shelf, I could probably find a reader for it.
I mean, I guess.
So, and that's all we have.
Adios.